All I know is free handouts once again for first-time home buyers. Where's mine? 1.7 trillion. Where the hell are we going to get it when we're already 34, 35? I don't even know how many trillion we're in debt. And who came up with this? Because we know she didn't. Go ahead, Peter. It's all yours.
You did such a good job, Dan, ripping it apart. There's really not much left for me to say. But, this was tried in Venezuela. It was tried in Cuba. It was tried in the Soviet Union. It didn't work there. This is what happens when you get raised by a communist father. The Soviet Union and other communist nations are famous for their bread lines.
Yep.
And, this is what Kamala is going to create. She's actually targeting grocery stores. That's where she wants to start. She thinks the grocery stores are gouging the customers. I mean, they have the smallest margins out there. They barely make any money. They do it on volume. But she wants to, control what they can charge. Pretty soon, Americans are going to be standing in long line for bread, and it'll probably be stale. And there are going to be a lot of things that you're not even going to be able to get. I mean, if you think stuff is expensive now, wait till you have to buy it on the black market because it becomes illegal. In a free market, you don't have long lines. You just let the price adjust to whatever the market happens to be. But when you believe that the government needs to control prices, you're rejecting the most important aspect of a free market economy. That's supply and demand. In a free market, supply and demand determines the price. In a socialist economy or communist economy, you have the government trying to set the price. And that's what Kamala wants to do because she doesn't believe in capitalism.
So you didn't do jack squat for 3.5 years but ruin our economy. Now we believe your plan's gonna work. I think J.D. Vance in an interview this weekend put it best when talking about her plan. Watch this and we'll get your take on the backside.
Because the American people just don't buy the idea that Kamala Harris, who has been vice president for 3.5 years, is somehow going to tackle the inflation crisis in a way tomorrow that she hasn't for the past 1,300 days. Giving Kamala Harris control over inflation policy, Shannon, it's like giving Jeffrey Epstein control over human trafficking policy. The American people are much smarter than that. They don't buy the idea that Kamala Harris represents a fresh start. She is more of the same. It is doubling down on the failed policies of the Harris administration to give Kamala Harris a promotion rather than to fire her, which is what I think most Americans are going to do on November.
Peter?
Well, first of all, I don't even think Biden's been the president for the past 3 years. I think he's just a puppet.
Good point.
And I think the people who are pulling the strings are going to be doing the same thing with Kamala. In fact, I believe that they had a plan from the beginning to install Kamala as the nominee. I think what they did is they all lied for months and months about how Biden was sharp as a tack so they can feign that they were surprised because they set that debate unprecedentedly early.
Yep.
So that they were able to push Biden out, but supplant him with Kamala Harris without any real primary. Because if Biden had actually stepped down earlier, before the primaries began, there is no way Kamala Harris would have won that nomination.
Great
fairly.
point. Yeah.
The only way they can install her was to pull off this switch that they did.